This podcast absolutely, unequivocally, positively, 100% contains adult material. Mature audiences only, please.
Hey, welcome back to Me and Mrs. Always Right. Today we are here at that little trailer park in, where are we at? Denver?
Denver.
Well, we're outside of Denver, but I'm your host, me.
Bloomberg, I think,
Bloomberg,
is actually where we're
Thanks.
at.
And you are?
I'm Mrs. Always Right. Did you say who you are?
I did say. I'm like, I'm me.
Apparently, I'm
Westminster.
We're at the True Crime and Paranormal Podcast. True, did I say that right
Yes,
this time?
yes.
Yeah?
True Crime Paranormal Podcast
Festival, right?
Yeah.
So we'll be
always
here.
forget that.
We try to bring you interviews and booths, and my man Crush is here.
Yes, you've already seen
I
him.
know.
We've already talked to him about the big question that we had for him.
Well,
So-
what did he say? What did he say to you?
He said that he would actually have to go back and look and see because he didn't think it was ever brought up.
Huh. You might
I might have solved a case.
solved a case. So stick with us, and hopefully bring you some great interviews with some other podcasters. You know, I got a couple sitting right next to me here, right? So, all right, check you out later.
Bye.
Bye. Don't say bye, because this is like not the end.
Okay. See ya.
All right, here we are back straight from Denver. Straight from Denver.
Straight from
Denver. And coming up, we have a great list of interviews coming up. These are very short, to the point interviews with some great people. I have a favorite on here.
Of course you do.
Of course I do.
Of course you do. Absolutely.
And
you do.
Did you have a good time?
I had a good time. Did you have a good time?
I had a great time. I might have been a little, let's just say they don't call Denver the Mile High City for no reason, okay?
Right.
I might have been a little fucked up.
It might have found a gummy or two. That apparently is a lot stronger than you get
Hypothetically
anywhere
speaking.
else, right?
Hypothetically speaking.
Uh-huh.
You know? So.
Now, okay, so it's legal in Colorado.
It is legal in Colorado.
It's legal in Oklahoma?
It is.
Oh, okay. And New Mexico?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Just not the state we live in.
Right. But apparently, I guess it's what you may have been around this weekend was better than any that you've tried from the others.
It was up there.
It was up there.
It was up
You
there.
were up there, that's for sure.
I was up there. So we're going to get started. This may or may not turn into a 2-part episode. I don't know. We'll just see how it goes. So with that being said, let me tell you about my first interview. I have listened to Defense Diaries for a long time. June's the one who got me onto this. And this guy tells a story. Bob Motta, his wife Allison's with him too. Bob tells a story like you've never heard. And you actually, if you listen to us, episode 187 was kind of about him. Don't listen. And we told him, and I still don't know if he's going to listen, but that's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
He knows.
He's a busy guy.
He is very busy.
But he's got a great voice and he can tell a story. With that being said, let me lead you into our interview with Bob Motta. Hey, I'm here with Bob Motta, and he is the host of Defense Diaries and The Docket, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Correct.
The Docket?
Correct.
And you may or may not know, but this is like my podcast man crush here.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're making me blush.
Am I?
Yes, you
Yeah.
are.
So tell us about The Docket and how I got started real quick, if you don't, or not The Docket, the Defense Diaries.
So Defense Diaries, I had been a practicing attorney for 20 plus years. I was getting a little burnt. Like the criminal defense side of it is a tough racket. Takes a lot out of you. You know, if
I
you
bet.
care about what you're doing, it's a really, really tough gig. So, you know, going into like 20-year breaking that barrier, you know, I was starting to feel more and more like, man, like I don't know if I'm going to be doing my clients any favors if I continue to practice. So I had been contemplating doing a podcast because, like many of us, I had run into Serial back in the day. That was the first thing that I had ever listened to podcast-wise. I fell in love with it. I fell in love with just the storytelling aspect of it, and that we could dive deeper into things than any other type of medium. and you can incorporate like interviews with
Yes,
it was different than a book, and it was different than documentaries, because docs, you have those time limitations.
Yeah.
Books, you're not hearing from the people. It's just, I just love the medium. So, but I sat on it forever. And my backstory is my father was John Wayne Gacy's trial attorney back in 1980. And he had given me all his taped interviews with his client that he had made in preparation for his insanity defense trial. And they're fascinating. And I didn't know what to do with them.
Oh, wow.
Forever. And then when I decided to do the podcast, I knew I was going to incorporate them into the podcast, but I wanted to focus not on Gacy as much, because we've all heard that story. I wanted to focus on the victims that I knew nothing about, and I knew everything about that case, except I knew little to nothing about the victims. So we really tried to focus on the victims, and I was fascinated by how they got him in 10 days.
Oh, that's cool.
So I wanted to focus on the investigation, and then obviously the arrest and the trial. So that was how we got into it. So I went to my wife, who's the real hero of the story, Allie, who
I agree. Who does not want to be on video
for whatever reason.
Original honey badger.
She is the original honey badger.
She is. But she's the hero of the story. She's my law partner. And I went to her and I said, I want to start a pod, but I got to go all in. I can't do it half-assed, because otherwise it'll fail. Because we're in a crowded market. It's a crowded market. You guys know how much work goes into this. So she, of course, had my back, and 3 years later, it's been an amazing journey. It's been a lot of fun.
For me personally, crime wasn't my genre. It's hers. And we were on a road trip, and she got me listening to you. And the first things that ever stood out to me was you have a great narration voice.
Thank you.
And I was getting into it, man, but you busted out with one word and one phrase, and you were like, shit. And you hooked me ever since then. And I'm like, this dude is cool as hell. So,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, we finished the Gacy tapes, right? And then we got on to, we don't get much time for the docket because we're more like into progressive story.
Right.
So now we're into Anthony Garcia, and she had asked you earlier, right? She had questions, and I know you're not done with the series.
No.
But that's a great series if you come out, right? To listen to. It's a great series, great voice.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
So I appreciate you taking time for us, right? I know you're busy.
I appreciate you wanting to interview me, man.
Oh, man.
It's like,
dude, it's been like a dream of mine, right?
Please.
You and Allison, I look to, as a small podcaster, I look to you and Allison, and y'all do a fantastic job. And her and I, ours isn't so story focused or anything like that. It's just a bullshitting podcast, about marriage.
And I'm always telling you, every time I see you, quit demeaning your podcast.
It sucks,
man.
but it's okay.
It doesn't suck.
It only doesn't suck because she's beautiful. So.
Oh, well, you're a good man. And this I'm putting on the record. I always take care of my friends.
Okay.
Always.
Okay.
So if you guys ever want to jump on a YouTube live, talk about your show.
I think her and I would love to do that.
I mean,
but I do want you to listen first, so you know who you're inviting, right? You might be representing me one day, and I don't,
Hey, listen. The advice that I always give people is do everything that you can to avoid calling us.
Yes.
In a professional setting. You know what I mean?
But Bob, her mother, if she trips and falls in the shower and dies, her mother thinks I murdered her. I'm going to need a lawyer.
You're
from
going
the
down.
get-go.
You're going down. Yeah, we got you.
So, hey, I appreciate your time. Thank you
pleasure,
very much.
Man. Absolutely.
Hey, listen to Bob Motta wherever you get your podcasts, and enjoy Defense Diaries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Of course.
All right, so
There you go.
what did you think?
What did I think?
That
I thought it was
actually-
good anyway.
Did you? 'Cause
I did.
that's like my first real interview of
Yeah.
anybody, right? Outside of the next one I have coming up, which I don't feel is,
right.
interview.
These girls are just,
Oh, hang on, timeout. Trademark.
What?
So, how do you think I did? Right. Okay, number
I
one,
think you did very well.
you did my hair. And
I
you
did
did
your
a
hair.
fantastic job. I am getting much, much more gray hair than
Well, you know why?
because I'm getting older. I'm getting fatter.
Well, you're getting older. I don't think it has anything to do with your weight, how much
Well,
gray hair you have.
It's possible, is all I'm saying. With the fatness comes the grayness.
Yeah, I don't think that's true. I think just getting older kind of has something to do with it. That's what I think.
But that's
I don't know.
Bob Motta.
Yes.
His wife, Allison Motta, they run Defense Diaries and The Docket. I am going to link all the links to these podcasts and everything down in the comment section, or not in the comment section, in the description of the video. So you'll be able to find them all there. This was great. Now we have another interview coming up with a couple of chicks that I know personally.
You do know you know Bob personally ish.
I don't have sex with Bob.
No. Well, that's true.
No.
That's true.
I have sex with one of these co-hosts. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Are you blushing a little
No,
bit?
no.
Not
Okay.
blushing?
No.
But so the next podcast we have coming up is from two chicks from Texas.
Mhm.
They enjoy coffee. They
Yeah.
enjoy crime.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and yes, I am what's the word I'm looking for?
Partial?
Partial.
Partial?
I am partial to this podcast.
Well, you
know?
have to be, because you have to live with one of these
Well, I
people.
have to be, or the host doesn't put out.
That's what I'm saying. You have to
That's
live
right.
with one of these people. So you have to, be partial.
So without further ado, I will bring you June and Suzanne with Crime with My Coffee.
We're Crime with My Coffee. I'm Suzanne.
I'm June.
We're a mother and daughter, and we're awesome, and you should listen to us because we like coffee, we're addicted to it, and we talk shit about the bad guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We absolutely do.
How long's your podcast been out?
It's been out for about 4 years now.
Right. And we try to keep our episodes fairly short.
About 45 minutes, your average commute
Right.
to work.
Sometimes it goes a little longer.
If you had one case that people should go and listen to, what case would that be?
Iron Mike Malloy and the Murder Trust.
I mean, I don't know. We've done so many.
We have done so many, but
you should
Iron Mike
listen
Malloy's
to
my
all
favorite.
of them.
All of them.
All of them. All of them. Some are better than others. When we first started, it was a lot of trial and error, just trying to figure out.
Yeah, we were making it up as we go along.
We're still doing that,
We're still doing that.
but I feel we're better.
All right. Anything else? Where can we find your podcast?
Oh, you can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts at. We have a website that is temporarily down because I am not technologically savvy, but it'll be up within the next couple of days at crimewithmycoffee.com
Or crimewithmycoffee.net.
or crimewithmycoffee.net.
Patreon.
We do have a Patreon at patreon.com/crimewithmycoffee. There's all sorts of different levels. You get exclusive episodes, bonus content, and depending on your level, a t-shirt or a hoodie or a long sleeve shirt.
And that hoodie is super nice.
It is, and it's super warm. I love it.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks for interviewing.
No,
Okay,
thank you.
So that was June and Suzanne with Crime with My Coffee. One of those hosts may or may not look familiar to you.
Very familiar.
So do you enjoy doing your crime, the crime podcast you do?
I do really enjoy it. Sometimes it becomes very hectic because sometimes there's a lot of researching that you have to do, movies you have to watch, or a book you have to read, or maybe you don't have to read it, but you want to, so you get another take, or you get a different angle, or you learn something that you didn't know before. So, sometimes it can be, but
I
do
get it.
enjoy it because
And
I do like
You
crime.
do like crime.
I believe, I would say at least half of the adult population or more really are intrigued with true crime. I really think that it's a big number that people are very intrigued with true crime. It's just nature.
There's
Our
two
human
genres
nature.
that do very well in podcasting.
Yes.
Those two genres are politics
Yep.
and true crime.
Exactly.
And those two,
we don't do either.
We don't
one
do
of
either
them.
one of those.
So
And a little bit of this, and you guys, if you're watching, man, your podcasts are great. What I'm hoping for is maybe a little shout out to some of your people. Now, we're not for everybody, and we know that.
right.
We
Yes.
are adult oriented. I don't give a fuck what I say and when I say it. So eventually I might piss you off. I don't know.
Oh, I mean, I feel you're going to piss everybody off at least once. How they
Especially
react
you.
to it, how they react to it is something totally different.
I've
So,
been called an asshole, but I've been referred to as
the asshole.
your
Oh.
kind of asshole.
Oh, okay, all right.
And someone told me you could be an asshole without being an asshole.
You can't be an asshole without being an asshole.
You don't think so?
No, not
No.
at all. No, not at all.
So the next interview we got coming up is with True Crime and Wine Time. I guess the thing I like about these two podcasters is they like to drink while they're doing their podcast.
Oh, so it might get a little slurry.
I would hope so.
We're definitely going to have to check them out. You know, it's funny. And I'm not saying anything about them. I'm just saying about the whole true crime genre, really. A lot of these people do it with alcohol is involved in their podcast. And I understand why. That's what I was going to say. I understand why, because you almost have to have alcohol to do this. I'm just saying.
Do you really?
I mean... yeah.
So I think a lot of this too is to find a way to stand out in an already crowded genre.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when people go, let's say I'm like, hey, I want to start listening to a true crime podcast, and you go to Spotify or Apple or iHeartRadio, and you type in true crime. Well, it's going to lead you with the people who have the most views or the most downloads.
Right.
I'm looking for I want to get in touch with the smaller creators, because you and I know exactly what that is like to be a small creator.
Yes.
And to have a spot where that we don't fit in, or we get overlooked for reasons that we shouldn't get overlooked.
Right.
I do think we put on a good show. You and I are funny. You're obviously
you're funny.
You're better looking.
I mean, that's possible, but you're funnier.
That's possible. So with that being said, I'm going to lead you into our interview with True Crime and Wine Time.
Hello, everybody. I'm JT.
And I am Terry True Crime, and we are from True Crime and Wine Time.
We pick different genres every other week. We record live on our YouTube channel and then put it out as a podcast as well. And our YouTube channel also includes shows Monday through Friday, pretty much. They're not all true crime based. But in this case, we always pick themes, and then we each present a case on the theme.
We do, and then we also do a special called, it's a special investigation into the disappearance of Chase Lackey. So we're actually investigating a missing person case. Chase Lackey went missing in Houston, Texas in 2017, and we've been working with the family for about 1.5 years and investigating that as well. And it's on our podcast and our YouTube channel. Also on our YouTube channel, I do Midday Missing, Mondays and Wednesdays at noon Central, and we cover missing person cases.
So it looks like y'all indulge a little bit in the drinking part.
Yes,
Are we drinking on stream?
Oh, yes.
Great. See, I do too. So
Okay.
that's awesome.
Yeah. No.
Not on Midday Missing because it's at lunchtime.
Mimosas, right?
No, because I do have a day job too. But I'm partaking now.
Awesome.
And then we did our first live stream in Denver on Thursday where we partook in other things. And we'll just say probably not our best episode. But everybody said we were very entertaining as it hit me and the room started spinning.
Yes.
You guys. Huh?
Go ahead.
No, you can find us on YouTube. Really, anybody by searching True Crime and Wine Time. But you can find us on YouTube at True Crime and Wine Time.
So do you guys have a favorite episode? Let's say I am a new listener, and which episode would you recommend that I jumped into?
What is your favorite episode? I know my favorite episode. He doesn't know. So I will tell my favorite episode, and it was financial crimes because I covered Tyson chicken, and I had no clue about the crimes that happen in big business with food. That was my favorite.
Oh, wow.
Nobody died, but it was good.
Hey, white collar crime's a crime.
It was a bad crime.
Stories. I think a lot of the stuff that I really just enjoy, and it's not a specific case, but like throughout, our podcast, we stream in a combination of, obviously the story in respect to the victims, but also comedy too, to kind of break it up.
Because we cover dark cases. I will tell anybody that watches ours, we don't get gory, don't get down to the nitty gritty, but we do cover some dark cases.
Correct.
Well, this should be interesting. So, do you guys have a Patreon where anybody can donate to or anything? Or
We do, but when we started live streaming on YouTube, we are moving over to that platform, and we are just days away from monetizing and setting up there so people can follow us and donate there.
Hey, thanks for giving me the time for an interview.
Yes.
I
Of
course.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
Have a
no
good
problem.
day.
All right,
Thank
you
you.
too.
So look at you, Mr. Interviewer.
So
You know
you think
what-
they're going? You think they're going okay?
Yeah, because you know, I feel bad now. I feel like somebody needs to interview you and ask you.
I will
You know.
hope. And anybody who watches this podcast, you can reach out to us at me and Mrs. Always Right at gmail.com. We would be more than happy to come on your show, do a quick rundown of who we are, what we're about. You know, we don't do drugs, we don't drink, and we don't lie.
None of
No.
the above.
Definitely don't drink. None of us drink.
None of the above. Yes. Wow. Okay. Okay.
So that, and I think, and I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I do think they're from Texas. Maybe South Texas, the way they're talking about working with Houston.
Right. Right.
You know, but it does say that sounds like a very interesting podcast to me. I think I'm going to check that out.
Yeah. The good thing is it's on YouTube, and we're already on YouTube.
We are
you know,
already on YouTube.
so we can check them out right after we watch our episode.
And then the only other thing I was going to bring up to you, and they bring up a good point, is I think you and I could probably do a 10 or 15 minute show, and we can start small where we start going live on YouTube and we react to, you know, I work better with content and comments, and I don't give a shit.
And you work better. Basically, I'm going to say I feel you work better with a live audience anyway.
I do.
It feeds you.
It does.
It does.
Because I don't give a fuck how bad the comments are. I'm here for you. Oh, and we got another interview coming up, probably in the next episode. And this podcast took their absolute worst review and turned it into a
yes.
sticker. And I thought that was the most clever thing. And I'll bring that up when we get to that interview. But
you know, if people would go listen to us on Apple, I think Apple is the only place that you can actually leave a review like that.
actually, it is not. And let
It's
me tell you what
Oh,
happened.
okay, tell
All right?
me.
And then after this, we'll end the episode.
Okay.
All right, and we'll pick up with a part 2. But Buzzsprouse now offered a feature called Fan Mail. And in the description of the podcast, you can click send me and Mrs. Always Write a message, and we'll get it in text form. You can call us a twat. I don't care. But you know,
see you next Tuesday.
Send us the fan mail. Use that link. I don't care how bad the comments are. What
Or
you have to say.
good. I mean, we would take
I
a.
doubt we ever get a good comment.
I feel we would get a good comment too.
You're beautiful. You have an awesome voice.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking suck.
Okay, whatever.
But bringing back that up, I do think we could start with, you know, maybe your 10 or 15 minute episode where we go live, you know, once a week or so, and see how it goes. And just see how it goes. But with that being said, we're going to end this episode here. Thanks for listening. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please email us at meandmrsalwaysright@gmail.com. All complaints go to Trevor the intern.
And hopefully, I don't think he's going to get many complaints on this. You've done an excellent job.
I've tried to portray people and their podcast and the creators, and
Oh, yeah.
I try to treat them with as much respect as for what they do as I would want to be treated.
Oh, absolutely.
You know? So-
Absolutely. But you can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X.
And you will get better at social media posting.
I'm sure
You
gonna
will.
try. Yes.
And we'd like to thank Roadcat Media for producing this week's episode. Roadcat Media was at the True Crime and Paranormal Podcast. If you have any audio, video editing needs, reach out to them at roadcatmedia@gmail.com. And as always, we're on the hunt for Merle.
Yes. I love Merle.
All right. I love you, baby.
I love you too, honey.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye. That was the deepest bye I think
I
you've done.
know. I know.
Merle.
I love Merle. Ooh.